As you may know, the Percy Jackson Series Season 1 finale was last Tuesday, January 30th, and I have some thoughts. I had been a fan of the book series since elementary school and middle school. I have the first book with me right now, and I even watched both movies when they first came out, so I have some thoughts on the series. It's going to be a 4-part honest review. The first part will be what I liked, the second part will be what I didn't like, and the third and fourth will be some suggestions and things I think they should have included. So the first thing I wanted to talk about that I really liked was the actors chosen for each role. I think casting did a really great job with choosing Leah, Walker, and Aryan to portray our Annabeth, Percy, and Grover. They did a phenomenal job, and I love that each actor actually had a tie to the series. Like, they grew up with the series and they really enjoyed it, and they would refer back to the books when they were doing scenes as stated in the documentary, and I think that's a really great aspect of an actor, is referring back to the original material. I really like the casting for Clarice. Dior did such a great job embodying this character. She convinced me so much to really dislike Clarice, so she really did her job well. I loved seeing the emotion that came with her scream after Percy had broken her sphere, and I think it was so cool to see how she really got into the character, and she did such a great job. I liked the casting choice for Luke. I think Charlie did such a great job embodying this role. He even prepared for this role by listening to Swan Lake, which I really enjoy hearing when actors take this job seriously and they are trying to get into the mindset of their character, and he did this so well, so props to you. Sally Jackson, her character was portrayed so well by Virginia Cole. She really embodied that motherly figure of showing Percy that she is really that person for him. She is his rock, and I loved that she was able to portray her relationship with Poseidon so well, especially when she had offered the leftover sundae and he just came instantly, and I think her reactions and emotions are done so well, so this actress is a great choice. I also really like that they kept the original chapter titles and used that as the episode titles as well, and also using direct dialogue from the actual book. I think they just really created such an authentic storyline towards the original material, and I think it was really nice that they stayed true to it. Overall, I really like the casting in this series. The casting team did really well in taking the time to really choose these characters based on actors who would really take these roles seriously, and I think it really worked out in the end. There's just some minor things that I think the series should work on, but the actors were definitely not the issues. The music in this series, I think, was really perfectly done by Bear McCreary, who also composed music for Marvel. He made scenes feel so emotional and intense, and I really liked hearing music and being able to really understand what a scene is supposed to feel like. Even by seeing it through the actors' faces, the music really intensifies an episode or a scene, and it really helps to show the audience what you're supposed to be reacting towards in this part. I think that the series did do was feed us Perciveth moments. I think it was so great to see Annabeth placing the necklace on Percy to give him good luck, even though they didn't really explain the meaning behind the necklaces, which I'll talk about more in another part, but I think having that moment also with this scene here when What Is Love was playing, that was so funny. But their dynamic definitely changed more when they realized, they're in danger and they really care more about each other, and I think those were really important parts. Definitely had a lot of story changes, but one I found really interesting was the last episode between Luke and Percy, when he finds out Luke was the one who betrayed him and called him, a friend, and he was the one behind everything. And it was very interesting to add Annabeth to that scene, because in the book, Percy's the one who tells Annabeth rather than her witnessing it, and I think her witnessing it makes it more impactful for future seasons. And her really seeing what Luke has done and has his whole mindset changing, I think is going to really show how she really views him now, and he's not the same person that she knew. I thought this scene was so funny. I really liked that they casted him as Ares. He did such a great job, and I liked how he assumed that Grover was at the winter solstice because he was a protester. I thought that was so funny. The dialogue was top tier in this episode, but I liked that Grover and Ares were talking, and he was trying to like trick him and get information out of him. I think it was an interesting choice to leave him out of Waterland, which I'll talk about in another part, but I think this episode and this specific scene was pretty interesting and a unique change. Adding Hermes to the Lotus Casino scene was a very interesting choice. Personally, I just really liked when the trio interacted with the gods. I liked when they talked to Hephaestus, to Ares, and now Hermes, and I think it's good for them to really get information and putting a face to the name of the stories that they've been learning about for so long. But overall, I really did enjoy this series. I looked forward to it every Tuesday, and I'm so sad that I have nothing to look forward to now on Tuesdays, but I really hope that season 2 does get announced and they start filming right away, so I can look forward to that and the rest of the 5 books. I am so excited to see how their dynamic grows together, and I'm especially excited to see Percybeth and how their dynamic grows. I can't wait for the rest of the series to continue. I really like that they did include the author in the creative team. I think that really helps the story, and if any changes that they wanted to see do come to life, he at least has an input on it, and he does have that original story maintained, and I think that really helps. Yeah, so that's the end of part 1 of what I did like about this series. Look out for part 2, 3, and 4, where I go into depth of what I didn't like and some suggestions and things I think they should have included in this series. I would love to hear your comments on what you liked about this series, who your favorite characters are, and have you read the books or are you going to read the books? I'll see you in the next part.